Here are some alternate titles for this video. Sofia lies a lot. Sofia will not be reading any of these books, but she would very much like to. Sofia intends to read all these books, but she's going to end up reading about 3 of them. Book Sofia needs to read this month, but definitely won't. Salutations! Welcome to Loving the Language of Literacy. My name is Sofia Lee, and today I'm doing my March TBR. As you can tell by the title and intro to this video, this is of my March TBR, and I don't normally do TBR videos, so there's a reason for that, and it's because I am a mood reader. I intend to read a lot of books during a month, and I end up, like I said, reading only around 3 of them. This month is a bit different because it is also Take Control of Your TBR month, which is an event hosted by Kimba Caffeinated. I'll leave more information in the description box, but it's basically the goal of the month is to read as many books as you own as possible. I, of course, want to cut down on my TBR, so this seems like a very good challenge that I attempted last year, and it didn't go so well last year. I ended up buying more books in the month of March, but, you know, I'm gonna try it anyways. I will be showing you 12 books, 10 of which qualify for the Take Control of Your TBR challenge, and 2 of them are random library books that I still need to read this month because everyone is on my case. The first 2 books I have here are the library books, and they are Vicious by V.E. Schwab and This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. Vicious by V.E. Schwab is an adult high fantasy novel, and I recently, in the month of February, read The Archive by V.E. Schwab. I had a few issues with it. I'll link my review right here. Overall, what I did love was the writing style and the premise, and this sounds like it'll be another stunning book. It's going to be a little bit different than The Archive because it's an adult novel, but I've had some luck with adult novels, and I've already read this author before, so I think it should be pretty good. This is highly praised by basically everyone in the booktube community, and I'm very much looking forward to diving into this. I'm not going to give you a synopsis mostly because I'm going into this book blind, which I don't normally do, but I did it with The Archived, and I thought that was a really good decision, so I'm going to try it again with Vicious. And everyone says it's so good, and I loved her writing style, and I just have to give this one a shot because the booktube police will come after me. The next book I have here is the most highly recommended, aka book that was pushed on me the most to read, because all of my Twitter friends are just telling me, you have to read The Shattered World. That came out in the very end of the year of December 2014. I recently read These Broken Stars in the month of January. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed the premise. I liked the writing style, but the story was a bit confusing and a bit slow at times. In the month of February, I read This Night So Dark, which is the novella connecting These Broken Stars and The Shattered World, and I'm really looking forward to diving into this one because it's a companion novel, so it's still part of the trilogy, and apparently the characters kind of overlap and it's connected, but it follows 2 new characters who are named Jubilee Chase and Flynn Cormack. One is a rebel, one is part of the military, and you know, there's probably going to be chaos and romance ensuing, per usual, in space. It's awesomeness. The next book I have here is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. And to be honest, when I wrote my TBR this morning, I wrote any Morgan Matson book because I have this one, or Since You've Been Gone, or Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend to choose from because I own all of them and they would all count for the challenge. But my good friend Jacqueline on Twitter read this book in February and she loved it, so I'm going with this one for now to show in the video. It's about a girl named Taylor Edwards who has had a pretty bad home life. She's run away from home a couple of times, and she hasn't gone back to this lake since she was 12 years old. But one day, I think she's around 16, 17, her dad says, "We're going to the lake again." So she's going back. There's a lot of memories there. I'm guessing there's some people she's left behind there. It's just a situation where she can have a second chance. And I've heard from everyone that this is really good. It's heart-wrenching. And if it's by Morgan Matson, who is the queen of contemporary, I have high expectations. The next book I have here is Dissonance by Erica Obru. I started this around the middle of February, and I never got past, what page is this? the 60th page. My tab's right here. It's not that I wasn't liking it. I was enjoying it, but I kind of just abandoned it for different things. But the premise is so interesting. What I did read of the book is really good, and I just need to continue and finish this book in the month of March. This follows a girl named Dell, and she has a very special talent that only a few hundred people in the world have, and that is that she can walk between the frequencies of various parallel universes, because anytime anything happens in the main world, our world, there is a separate parallel shift, and those are kind of like radio frequencies. So you can go travel between them. And everything goes on as usual in those worlds, and as long as it doesn't affect our world, everyone's cool. Her family is part of the group of people that make sure that all the worlds are in sync and they don't affect our world, because obviously massive destruction will happen if this world is disturbed, you know. The next book I have here is the one that I'm most likely not to read this month. I already said I was going to read it during last month and I didn't actually get to it, but that is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I'm not even going to try to synopsize this because, you know, everyone has read this except for me. I don't really do classics that much, but my New Year's resolution for 2015 was to read one neoclassic or adult, out of my comfort zone kind of book a month. So it's The Great Gatsby. My English teacher, who I absolutely adore, highly recommended it, so just gonna start with this one. It's way less than 200 pages and I think I can handle it. So look forward at the end of the month in my March reading wrap up to see if I actually lied or if I did read this book, because if I end up completing it, you will hear about it on Twitter. Because this would be a great accomplishment for me. The next book I have here is also one that I started in February and never finished. And that is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This was completely and utterly hyped up for a reason. Back in September of 2014, everyone was loving it. It made so many people's favorites lists, and I can see why from the 25 pages that I've already read. It's dual perspective and it follows a pair of twins named Jude and Noah, and it follows two separate timelines, June from when she's 16-year-old and Noah from when he was 13, and apparently something really big happened in the past, but it's a mystery. We don't exactly know why, but it completely tore them apart because they were the best of friends until this something happened. I read The Sky Is Everywhere back in December of 2013, and I didn't enjoy it that much. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars just because I wasn't in the right mindset. I didn't know what I was in for, but I do know what I'm in for with I'll Give You the Sun, and I'm expecting to enjoy it because Jandy Nelson's writing style, even when I dislike The Sky Is Everywhere, I had to agree that it is absolutely gorgeous. The next book I have here doesn't actually have a cover because there's a story behind it, and that is A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This is actually a book that I have stolen. Yes, I admit, I steal things. Not really. At my school's library, the librarian had both A Great and Terrible Beauty and the sequel, which I have in my locker right now, and these went in the discard pile, so I saved them, and because they were library bound, they cannot be donated, and a library usually is where you go to donate books, so I said that I would take this and return it, but I'm not going to actually return it. And I'm admitting that on the internet to you, so please don't arrest me. Anyways, this is Libba Bray's, I believe, first novel. I'm not actually sure. This comes as a highly recommended steampunk novel set in 1895, following a 16-year-old girl named Gemma who returns to England after many years in India to attend a finishing school where she becomes aware of her magical powers and the ability to see the spirit world. I'm not the biggest fan of seeing spirit world kinds of books, but I've heard so many good things about Libba Bray. I need to read a Libba Bray book, and steampunk is a very fun genre, which I only got into last year, so I have high expectations, and I hope they're reached, because I do, quote-unquote, own the second book. You know what I'm saying. And now we're moving on to my March TBR for taking control of your TBR pile on my iPad. And these are the 5 books I want to read. It's the 1st of March when I'm filming this. Hopefully the 1st of March when I get this up. No promises. And I already started Angel Fall. I'm 90% through. I'm enjoying it. I'm not loving it. Then again, I didn't read a single paranormal, fantasy, or dystopian novel during the entire month of February, so it'll take a little bit to get back into the dystopian, paranormal kind of world, but I've heard so many good things about Angel Fall. One of my friends back in California absolutely adored it, and plus Christine Riccio, whose opinion I highly value, also loved it, so I'm genuinely going to just push through it and look forward. I might end up DNFing it, but I can feel like it's going to be a good one. Better Friends is for when I need a cutesy contemporary. It follows a couple from what I believe when they're in 6th grade all the way up to college throughout the years, and apparently nothing goes right in their relationship, and I'm expecting it to be humorous and funny and just exactly what I need when I want to read a pick-me-up kind of book. The Diviners is another book by Libba Bray, obviously, and it comes most highly praised. It's a chunkster. I might not necessarily get to it because of how big it is. It's like 600 pages or something, but I'm gonna do it. Crossing my fingers. It follows a girl, not sure what her name is, who is in New Orleans, and she can also see spirits and ghosts, and I've heard it's beautiful and well written, and I'm just gonna leave you with that because I don't actually know. Jacoby came out from HarperCollins back around fall time 2014. It's either October or November, I'm not sure. It has a gorgeous cover if you see it actually in stores. I'm not sure what it's about. It was the Kindle Daily Deal on the 28th of February, so of course I bought it. It's set in England, historical fiction-esque, and it might lean more on the steampunk side or just more on the paranormal side with spirits. I believe it's a murder mystery. I'm really not good at synopsizing things, especially when I haven't actually read the synopsis, so we'll see what it's about at the end of the month when I actually read it. Lastly, we have The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melissa Salisbury, and this has been hyped up to no end by every single paranormal fantasy reader, and it's gotten a lot of mixed reviews. It's been hyped up a lot. I'm not sure what I think. It's either a love or hate relationship from everyone else who's ever read it, and I'm hoping to be one of the people who love it. It's about a girl who is the palace's assassin because anyone she touches, she kills, which is giving off a serious Shatter Me vibe. Apparently one day a guy who actually can touch her comes to the palace, but she's also betrothed at the same time to the king, so it's got a really big Shatter Me vibe. Not sure how I feel about that, but I will definitely let you know at the end of the month. Anyways, tell me in the comments below what you plan on reading in the month of March. Are you participating in Take Control of Your TBR? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. Keep calm and read on. Goodbye!